everybody. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Total Ramblings. It's Thursday, the 15th of May, 2025, and it is 7:45 in the morning. I am stuck. We're not stuck. We are moving. I'm on the glorious M25, the biggest roundabout in the world. If you don't know, the M25 Orbital is a gigantic motorway that rings the whole of London, and aka the road from hell. It's notorious for traffic jams, but I have to say, what they do is they put a variable speed limit in, which actually, if you look at the theory, does actually work and keep traffic moving. So yeah, just means we're a little bit slower than normal, but that's okay. Where am I going? I'm glad you asked. My current client that I'm working for is in Wimbledon. Absolutely nothing to do with the tennis, but smack in the middle of Wimbledon, like 30 seconds walk away from the train station. And I'll try and show you when I get there. But I've been working for this client for a few weeks now. I haven't been in for a couple of weeks because I've had COVID. I've been to the office twice before during my first or second week. But like I say, the last 2 weeks I've either had COVID or I've been recovering from COVID. So didn't want to infect everybody in the office. Anyway, that's where I'm going today. I am very, very highly stressed about work, I'll be honest with you. The weight of the responsibility, the worry. I always have this worry that I'm going to screw up. And I can feel myself getting slower as I get older. My brain fogging. I mean, it doesn't help that, you know, my wife's been in hospital for so long, 18 months. And all the problems I'm having at home with leaking pipes and work being done and drying out works, and basically nothing seems to go my way at the moment. So I'm fully anticipating that I'm going to screw up massively and probably get fired. It's just the way my mind works. I suffer really, really badly from imposter syndrome. Very, very badly. I am constantly second-guessing myself and waiting to be exposed for the fraud that I am. And some days I find it hard to get out of bed, if I'm honest with you. Just some days I just feel like taking up drinking or smoking or something to try and relieve the tension, but I neither drink nor smoke. My vices are spending money I don't have. And I haven't done that for a while because I don't have any. Yeah. So, you know, I realise in the scheme of things, these are first world problems. I know this, and that, you know, there are people out there who will look at my life. I'm driving this car right now thinking, wow, he's got everything. But in here is where I struggle. And I'm just being honest with you, you know. A lot of the time, I would say the majority of the time on social media, it's people posting about how brilliant their life is and how nothing ever goes wrong and how fantastic everything is and how perfect they are. And they take pictures of themselves wearing skimpy underwear going, oh, look at my body, aren't I amazing? Influencers, I think many people call them. I am what they call an outfluencer. You get it all, warts and all with me. I'm a bit up and down in my mood, and I have a generally gloomy outlook on life because of the way things have gone for me. And until someone proves me otherwise, I will continue to have a gloomy outlook on life. And I worry about literally everything. So I've got all this drying equipment in the house. And I know for a fact that it's fine to have all this stuff running all the time. But I was really worried about leaving the house today with no one else in it apart from the cats and having this machinery running, that I rang them. I said, it's okay to leave this stuff, isn't it? They said, yeah, we've got people who, you know, have this stuff running for months at a time and they're not even in the property. Anyway, as it happens, Alice came home yesterday and she's not working today. So there is actually somebody in the house, which I'm quite glad about. So, you know, in 1.6 miles, I will be going onto the A3. Anyway, so Thursdays is my day for going into work at Wimbledon. Otherwise, I work from home. And then what I do is I'll go and see Liz after work, which means I might be a bit late seeing her because it's an hour and 20 minutes to get to Hazelmere from Wimbledon. And of course, now in addition to learning how to park this fucking car properly, because I'm rubbish at parking this car, I now have to look out for sneaky bus lanes and £160 fines. And this is the thing, right? Is like, I very rarely leave the house because every time I leave the house, I feel like I've got some company or organisation or scammer or some kind of scumbag trying to put their hand in my wallet. And I could really do without that. I could really do without people just thinking that they can take my money. And I don't know if I mentioned this, I got hit with a £160 fine for infringing a bus lane the last time I was in Wimbledon because I was a bit lost, didn't know where I was and didn't see it. I was in this bus lane for about 20 yards and there were no buses. I was in the bus lane. I can't dispute that, but I'm just fed up of just constant kicks in the teeth from people and, you know, leaving the house and getting a parking ticket or a bloody... It's just... I can't handle anymore. So, I'm going to shut up now. Right, here we are in Wimbledon. I mean, the journey here is okay, but the last couple of miles is a nightmare because of the traffic. That said, it is at least 20-mile-an-hour limits all the way, so you don't get hassled by people because you can't go very fast. Anyway, have a look at Wimbledon. They got a Greggs, so it can't be bad. There's the train station. And the office I'm working in is just a couple of blocks away. Please drink responsibly. Yeah. Don't drink at all, mate. Do. across in a minute. Let's go for it. Here we go. There's a pub there called the Hand and Racket. I have no idea where the Wimbledon lawn tennis thingamy-bob is in relation to here, but it must be close. Anyway, sorry. Here we have a gold postbox to commemorate an Olympic winner. And that is where I am working today. Well, it's been a funny sort of day. The day started quite well, and I went through my project plan and everyone was very happy with it. I had to make a few tweaks to it, and I thought I'd give it an overhaul. Then I had another meeting in the afternoon talking about my plan, and the bloody changes weren't there. So I just want to say, for the record, and I've been saying this for quite a long time now, since I first used it years ago, I fucking hate Microsoft Project. Now, I do hate it, but I can't blame it for this particular problem, which is definitely a user problem, because with my last client, when I used Project, it was automatically saving my file every 10 minutes. And then I stopped using it for reasons I won't go into, and this was about 6 or 7 months ago, so I'm a little bit rusty, and I just had this installed on my work laptop yesterday, and I failed to realise / remember that it wasn't auto-saving every 10 minutes. So it's a user problem. Needless to say, I've switched that back on now. Anyway, so for a couple of hours there, I was feeling pretty shitty because it makes me look like an idiot. But I think I've recovered the situation, and I've made it better than it was before. And I know exactly what to do tomorrow, which is always good. So I think all in all, it's a positive, apart from the fact that this just makes me look like a fucking idiot, and I feel like a fucking idiot, and I feel like an imposter already. And yeah, that was my day. Here's another thing. Liz wanted me to pop to the shop to get her some salad cream and some other stuff, and there's a Sainsbury's right over the road. Do you know what else is also just over the road? Old-fashioned department store with a bloody huge toy department on the second floor. So I spent half an hour sending photos of Jellycats to Alice. We like Jellycats. And then I saw a Star Wars U-Wing make and take, where you basically, they give you the parts and you just build your own U-Wing. I built 2 of them. It was missing some 1x1 cheese slopes. They just weren't clear cheese slopes. They just weren't there. One of the pieces that should have been in the thing, they just weren't there. So anyway, I substituted for a 1x1 clear stud. Now, isn't that fascinating content for YouTube, everybody? Round of applause for Andrew for that amazing bit of content. So, you know, apart from a couple of hours where everything looked to be a bit fucked because of my incompetence and the fact that I hate Microsoft Project, I think I might have recovered the situation. Anyway, the thing is, it's now 5:45, and I would normally want to leave the office at about 4, especially because I'm going to visit Liz now. I'm not going to get to her for another hour. It'll be about 7:15 before I'm normally leaving by that time. So I'm sure that'll go down like a cup of cold sick. Hey ho. Anyway, I've also been studiously avoiding any fucking bus lanes. Sorry for the sweary video, but I've had a bit of a rough day. So, yeah, not been the best of days. But morning Andrew has left me, afternoon Andrew, with a big bag of Maltesers. So I'm going to eat those in the car. Because I can, and you can't stop me. So there. What do you think about that? A lot of birds in the road, like pheasants lately. A couple of little ones just there that I didn't want to run over. I'm not a vegetarian, right? In fact, I hate vegetables. But I just drove past a field of sheep with their young lambs, and there was a slightly older lamb with some smaller, younger ones, like 3 or 4 of them, in the corner of the field together, just playing. He was like he was a big brother to them, playing with the little kids, just enjoying being lambs in their field, their very green field, with their mothers nearby. Can't believe people eat lamb. Years ago, I was a support driver for a cross UK cycle tour, and one evening I was stood in a field by my car waiting for the cyclist to go by, and this little lamb in the field came up to me, so excited to see me, bleating at me, and came to say hello. And I'll never forget that little lamb. I mean, this was probably at least 10 years ago. So, I mean, I guess even if he'd lived a long life, he'd be dead by now. But I'll never forget that little lamb. And I don't think I'll ever forget those lambs I just saw in that field, with the larger, slightly older one hanging out with 4 smaller ones. Their mothers would have been nearby, but they'd kind of like broken off and were just sort of playing in the corner of the field by a log. And it was so sweet. I think people, mankind as a whole, we're bloody horrible. We are horrible. I have a lot more respect for animals. There's too many people around. That's a fact. There are too many people on the planet. And if someone came up tomorrow and said, hey, we're going to do a Thanos, we're going to lose half the people on the planet, there's too many, we need volunteers, I'd volunteer. If it meant the lambs could play with each other I'd volunteer. Yeah. I'm not liking this world very much at the moment. I'm not sure I ever really have. I've always kind of retreated into the recesses of my own mind or got lost in science fiction worlds. And it's because this world's done some horrible things to a lot of people, including me, and at the moment it's just relentless. It's never-ending horribleness. I visit Liz, and in hospital she's getting worse. She used to be able to stand up and do her teeth. Now she has to sit down and do her teeth. It's little things like that, you know. She's just slowly getting worse, in my opinion, in terms of her strength. And I don't know where this is all going to end. And now I'm worried about what's going to happen to those lambs playing in the field. Yeah. I'm home now.